everyone. Welcome to Live Interactive English. This is Karen.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Shane.
Today we're looking at day 2 of Gummy Bears, the chewy candies that charmed the world. And the vocabulary words are tremendous.
Tremendous.
A tremendous ship came into the harbor.
Ooh. Conclude.
Conclude.
The show concluded by the early evening.
Delight.
Delight.
This city has all sorts of wonderful delights waiting to be discovered.
Rage.
Rage.
As the war raged on, less and less food became available.
Aww.
It's pretty sad.
Superior.
Superior.
Danny is very talented, but Jane is the superior artist.
Yeah, she really is.
I know. I like Jane.
I really love Jane's art. So good.
And I also like gummy bears.
Gummy bears. Now talk about a work of art.
I know.
Because it's art that you can eat.
Exactly.
That's my favorite art.
Ooh, I like it. So we were talking about how the company was became a great success after they introduced the gummy bears.
That's right. So by the end of the 1930s, they had like 400 employees. They were making tons of gummy bears.
So I guess they have been successful ever since then?
Well, something pretty bad happened in the beginning of the 1940s.
Is it
World
War II?
Yeah.
Oh no, so that affected the company as well.
Yeah, both of his sons were taken as prisoners of war.
And
he
himself
died shortly after the war.
That's so sad.
And by the end, there's only like 30 employees left.
So was that the end of the gummy bears that we love?
No, it took a while, but the American soldiers in Europe started bringing these gummy bears back home to the States.
As souvenirs for their family and friends.
And people love them. So they started getting lots and lots of orders to be, imported into the U.S. And as you know, now it's like one of the biggest candy makers in the whole world. Everybody knows
them
it. Yeah.
Anywhere, right?
Get it everywhere.
That's awesome.
All right, let's learn some more.
Okay, enjoy.
Enjoy.
Gummy bears, the chewy candies that charmed the world.
In 1939, Haribo's business took a tremendous blow with the outbreak of World War II. During the war, Regal's 2 sons, Hans Jr. and Paul, were both taken as prisoners of war, and Regal himself died a few years after. By the time the war concluded, there were only about 30 employees left at Haribo.
Welcome to Live Interactive English Magazine. Today's lesson is called Gummy Bears, the chewy candies that charmed the world. Day 2. Hi everyone, my name is Jeff.
And I'm Mike. And yes, we're learning about the famous Haribo gummy bears. They're from Germany, from the town of Bonn, and invented by a guy who was sick and tired of his job and wanted to make candy, so he did. He started off with hard candy, not so successful, decided to make bear-shaped candy, and that's when he really hit the big time. And very soon, by the 1930s, he had 400 employees, and they were pumping out 10 tons of candy a day.
10 tons of gummy bears.
10 tons of gummy bears every day. But wait, if we're talking about Germany in the 1930s, there's sort of the elephant in the room. There's the big thing that we can't ignore.
World War II.
Well, the rise of Hitler and then World War II.
Yeah,
How did that...
The rise of the Third Reich, World War II, and the devastation of Germany.
How did that affect the your average German candy maker's business?
Get this, in 1939, World War II started.
Yeah.
And in 1939... Haribo's business took a tremendous blow with the outbreak of World War II.
War is bad for candy.
War is very, very bad for pretty much everyone except for the people making the weapons.
If you're making bullets,
you're making
bear-shaped bullets,
and
would have been a big success.
Would those work aerodynamically?
No. Probably.
Anyways, let's talk about the adjective tremendous. If something is tremendous, it has a huge effect because it's big, huge, very large, very intense. I think you guys get the idea. For example, a tremendous ship came into the harbor. It was really, really big and imposing.
Wow. Must have been huge.
It was an aircraft carrier.
Oh, interesting.
It was really, really big.
And of course, his business was affected by the war, but also his personal life. His family was affected, as war does affect people, which is what's so terrible about it. During the war, Riegel's two sons, Hans Jr. and Paul, were both taken as prisoners of war. They were both captured fighting for the Germans, captured by the enemy, and Riegel himself died a few years after. So life was tough for him and millions of people all around the world.
And that's not the end of the story either. Get this, by the time the war concluded, there were only about 30 employees left at Haribo. So before the war, 400 employees. They're churning out 10 tons of gummy bears every day. At the end of the war, 30 employees were left. And I believe that Hans Sr., he was dead.
Yeah, he died.
Gosh.
Of course, I mean, sugar is something you can't just be throwing around and putting into gummy bears, right? Sugar is very expensive, and they probably need to use it to make food for soldiers and you know, normal people. You can't be wasting it on gummy bears. So the business shrank very, very dramatically from 400 to 30 employees. This is at the time the war concluded. So at the time the war concluded is like saying at the time the war ended. To conclude is a verb, and it's the same as to end. The movie concluded with the bad guy, you know, getting beaten up by the good guy or something like that. That's how it ends. That's how it wraps up. For example, the show concluded by the early evening. And of course, World War II concluded with the defeat of Germany in 1945, but his family had been broken up and scattered everywhere. His business had almost, you know, closed, and poor Hans Riegel himself had passed away. So that might seem to be the end of the Haribo story, but of course it's not.
It's just the beginning.
Find out what happens after the war, after this break.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。Hans Riegel 辞掉工作，创立了糖果品牌 Haribo 哈瑞堡。那他一开始卖的那个硬糖生意还 OK， 可是不如预期。后来他就得到灵感，开始做小熊软糖，结果非常成功。在1930年代末期，哈瑞堡已经有400多名员工了。不过说到1930年代的德国，就不能不提到2次世界大战，提到希特勒，还有第三帝国的崛起，以及德国的毁灭。刚刚 Mike 老师说，这些都是人们避而不谈的重要事件。老师用到 elephant in the room， 房间里的大象，那这其实是指显而易见却被忽略的事实，也就是用来表达说某个很明显而且很重要的事件或是问题，那可能因为处理起来或是讨论起来太麻烦太复杂，以至于人们就避免提起。Jeff 老师提到的 Third Reich 则是指第三帝国，那么 devastation 则是表示破坏、毁灭，是当名词。课文提到1939年，哈瑞堡的生意因为2次世界大战爆发而一落千丈。Riegel 的2个儿子在战争期间被带走成为战俘。那几年之后 ，Riegel 自己也去世了。当战争结束的时候，哈瑞堡只剩下30个员工左右。这边有2个单字 ，tremendous，它是形容巨大的、极大的、非常大的意思，跟 huge 很相近。Jeff 老师说的 imposing 这个形容词也可以形容很宏伟壮观的，给人印象深刻的。那么 conclude 这个动词表示结束。Mike 老师在解释时，他用到 wrap up 这个片语动词，它也有完成、结束的语义。接回课文中。
Gummy bears, the chewy candies that charm the world.
But that wasn't the end of the company or the famous gummy bears. In fact, the war came with a silver lining for Haribo. American soldiers who had been sent to Europe started bringing packs of Haribo's gummy bears home as souvenirs. It wasn't long before the entire United States had a taste for Riegel's chewy delights.
By the time World War II ended, Haribo was a shadow of its former self. There were no longer 400 employees there, no, there were just 30. And Hans Sr., Hans Riegel, the guy who started it all, he was dead.
That's right. Now, maybe his sons did come back from the prison camps where they had been held, but it really did seem like Haribo, the candy company, was in for bad times. But But, as it says next, but that wasn't the end of the company or the famous gummy bears. I mean, we kind of know that because we can go to the store and buy them
get the
today.
gummy bears now. Yeah.
But how did that all happen? It says, in fact, the war came with a silver lining for Haribo. Very interesting. Wars usually only bring death and destruction and sadness, but if something comes with a silver lining, that means there's a little bit of good that comes out of the bad, all right? So something good happened because of the war, or maybe you could say something good happened with the end of the war or after the war. And what exactly was that?
Well, American soldiers, apparently, who had been sent to Europe, started bringing packs of Haribo's gummy bears home as souvenirs.
For their kids, their little brothers and sisters. It's a sort of exotic, strange candy, and they can bring it back home and, have their friends and family have them.
And it was also good for Haribo that these American soldiers were there, because at the end of World War II, nobody in Germany had any money, okay?
Yeah.
American soldiers had money that they could use to actually buy these things, so that these soldiers, Haribo, might not have survived.
They didn't have money to waste on candy in Germany.
They didn't have money to waste on candy or anything at all. They were eating wallpaper, apparently, there at the end of World War II in Germany. It wasn't a good time.
Now, was the candy popular in the States?
Oh, the soldiers took it back to America, and it wasn't long before the entire United States had a taste for Regal's Chewy Delights.
It's a whole new market.
It's a whole new market, a whole new big market. By the way, before we take a break, let's talk about the noun delight. Something that is a delight is something that is really good. It brings you joy. It makes you happy. That's all there is to it. For example, this city has all sorts of wonderful delights waiting to be discovered. If you go there, you'll have a good time. You'll enjoy yourself because of these delights. All right, folks, it's time for us to take a break, but don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
哈瑞堡的生意因为战争而一落千丈。那 Jeff 老师说 ，Haribo was a shadow of its former self。当我们说 a shadow of one's former self， 就表示已经不再拥有以前的力量啊，或不再拥有以前的影响力。那话说回来，哈瑞堡这间公司它并没有因此而告终，否则我们现在就吃不到小熊软糖喽。其实这场战争啊，反而替哈瑞堡带来一线希望。当那一些被派到欧洲来打仗的美国士兵把哈瑞堡小熊软糖带回家乡作为伴手礼之后，没过多久，整个美国都非常喜爱小熊软糖，他们觉得这种嚼劲十足、充满乐趣的糖果太棒了。好，那这边有一个单字是 delight。Delight 它是名词，就表示乐事或是令人开心的事物或是乐趣。那么文中的 silver lining 它表示一线希望，是指苦难或是困境中的一丝希望。它是源自于谚语 Every cloud has a silver lining。那字面上的意思是每朵乌云背后都有一丝希望的曙光。好，接回到课文中。
Gummy bears, the chewy candies that charm the world.
Of course, American candy companies wanted a piece of the action, and they soon began producing their own versions of gummy bears. To this day, the debate rages on regarding which bears are superior, Haribo's German originals or the newer American ones, though many agree that Haribo's bears have more fruit flavor and chewiness. In any case, a century later, there's no denying the invention's success. Haribo now makes enough gummy bears in 1 year to circle the Earth 4 times. So hats off to Hans and his little gummy bears from Bonn.
Okay, folks, next we're going to learn about the copycats. Remember, Haribo, that is the original gummy bear, okay? Everything else is just a copycat gummy bear. Only Haribo gummy bears are the real original ones. But once these things took off in America, once these gummy bears took off in America, the copycatting began.
That's right. It was the days before the internet or even television, so it would have been hard for a German company to have lawyers and do all the stuff that companies do today to protect their ideas. So, of course, it says American candy companies wanted a piece of the action. They wanted some of this gummy bear business, and they soon began producing their own versions of gummy bears. So, as you say, maybe not a Haribo gummy bear, but it's made of a chewy candy. It's got colorful flavors, and it looks like a bear. It's basically a gummy bear.
It's a copycat gummy bear.
That's right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyways, to this day, the debate rages on regarding which bears are superior. Haribo's German originals or the newer American ones, the copycats. Though many agree that Haribo's bears have more fruit flavor and chewiness.
Yeah, I would agree. And less sweet. And I think that's what makes them more enjoyable, because you can only eat so many sweet candies before it becomes like too much sugar, whereas the Haribo ones, you know, you can kind of keep eating them all the time. So that might be why they're still popular. But yes, the debate still rages. When something rages, this is a verb that means it occurs with violence, with a lot of passion or aggression or something like that. Of course, a war can rage, a fight can rage on, a fire can rage through a building. These are things that are violent and destructive and dangerous. But we can also talk about arguments raging or debates raging, when people have different opinions. You know, they can have arguments or debates that rage on maybe for years and years, because people come at this disagreement with a lot of passion, with a lot of emotion, and so that's why we can use this word to rage. It's not always violent, but there's always a lot going on, and there's always a lot of passion and heat. For example, as the war raged on, less and less food became available. Sure, wars are terrible and destroy things, and when they're raging, they're, well, extremely dangerous.
Yeah, wars do rage on. They keep going on, and no one's happy, and there's aggression, and there's violence. Yeah, war's bad. Anyways, before we move on, let's go ahead and talk about this word superior. It's an adjective. Very simply, everyone, if something is superior, okay, this thing is better than something else. That's it. For example, Danny is very talented, but Jane is the superior artist. So Danny is a talented guy, but Jane is better. Anyways, let's go ahead and wrap up our article right now. In any case, a century later, there's no denying the invention's success. Haribo now makes enough gummy bears in 1 year to circle the Earth 4 times.
Wow. So if you line up all the bears head to toe, you can go around the Earth 4 times. That's a lot of gummy bears. So, as we wrap it up, it says, so hats off to Hans Riegel, and his little gummy bears from Bonn. Yes, if we say hats off to someone, we're saluting them, we're honoring them, we're saying, well done. Thank you, Hans, and the Haribo company for bringing us gummy bears. They're still popular today.
All right, folks, that's it for the article. The article is in the books and complete, but we still have to ask and answer the what do you think question, so listen up. Mike.
Yes.
Have you ever had Haribo's gummy bears?
I have, and I think they're delicious.
Do you bite the heads off each and every one with great relish and delight?
No, not each and every one, but, you know, I mean, you don't want it to suffer. You bite its feet off. It's, oh my God. Exactly. That's the option.
Just eat the whole thing and end it. Oh my gosh.
If you were being eaten by a shark, wouldn't you know, there you go.
Think happy thoughts, everyone, and have some gummy bears.
Don't be made of gummy and you won't get eaten.
We'll see you next time.
Take care. Protect your head.
看到德国来的小熊软糖这么受欢迎，美国的糖果公司也想来分一杯羹。那很快的，他们就开始生产自己版本的小熊软糖。文中的 a piece of the action 就表示参与分一杯羹。那通常是为了赚钱或是提高影响力而用到这个用语。刚刚 Jeff 老师说，这些美国糖果公司是 copycat。copycat 就表示抄袭者、模仿者，那类似我们说的学人精。好，课文提到说，人们一直都在争论德国原版和美国新版的小熊软糖到底哪一种比较好。那不管怎么样，小熊软糖终究是一个很成功的发明。现在哈瑞堡一年生产的小熊软糖可以绕地球4圈哦。我们就来向 Hans Riegel 以及他的小熊软糖致敬吧。好，文中的 hats off to somebody 就表示向某人致敬。 Mike 老师说的 salute 这个动词也可以表达向什么行礼，向什么致敬。那我们最后来看2个单字 rage 它当动词可以表达激烈的进行，或者是肆虐，像大火肆虐之类的。那么 superior 这个形容词是表达比什么什么好的，优于什么的，优秀的。好了，那么以上是这个讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。大家好，我是 Hanny。在今天的课程中，我们要介绍4个文法重点。第一个是 by the time 的用法，第二个是句型 It was not long before 主词加动词，第3个是 in any case， 第4个是句型 There's no denying。首先，我们来学习 by the time 的用法。by the time 表示等到什么什么的时候，在什么什么之前。在 by the time 之后接过去式的时候，主要子句可以用过去简单式或是过去完成式来强调动作已经完成或者是已经发生。那么第一种句型就是 by the time 加上主词加过去式动词，逗号主词加上过去式动词。例如By the time we got there, there were no more seats left. 在我们抵达的时候，已经没有空位了。那这边主要子句是用过去简单式。第二种句型是 by the time 主词加上过去式动词，逗号主词加上 had 加上过去分词。例如 By the time they arrived at the airport, the plane had taken off. 在他们抵达机场时，飞机已经起飞了。那这边主要子句是使用过去完成式。接下来，我们来学习句型 It was not long before 主词加动词，字面上的意思是在什么之前并没有很久。那这表达不久后怎么样，很快就怎么样。如果以这个句型来指未来的情况，那么句型是 It will not be long before 主词加动词。那么其中的副词子句，它的动词要以现在式来代替未来式。例如 They started dating in 2012 and it wasn't long before they got married. 他们在2012年开始交往，不久后他们就结婚了。再看个例句It will not be long before the fireworks display starts. 烟火秀很快就会开始了。接下来，我们来学习副词片语 in any case 表示无论如何，不管怎么样。例如 The coffee machine is too expensive, and in any case, I seldom drink coffee. 这台咖啡机太贵了，而且不管怎么样，我也很少在喝咖啡。最后，我们来学习句型 There's no denying 表示无可否认的事怎么样。那么后方是可以接名词 that 子句或者是名词子句。例如 Even though their boss has quite a temper, there's no denying that he knows how to run a successful business. 尽管他们的老板脾气相当大，但不可否认的是，他懂得如何经营成功的事业。以上是这些重点整理，我们下次见喽 ！See you next time, bye.
欢迎收看就爱讲英文，
我是悠悠，
我是季安。
我跟你说，
嗨，
我昨天跟那个渣男欠了，你知道他一直背着我劈腿。
我不是跟你说过的吗？早就跟你说过他不是一个好咖，你还说我嫉妒你。
可是我怎么知道他在欺骗我？忠言逆耳嘛，忠言逆耳，耳朵。
今天就来讲一下忠言逆耳相关的东西啦。忠言逆耳呢，有一句成语叫做 advice when most needed is least heeded。
好长哦。
对
Advice when most needed is least
heeded。OK，advice 就是忠告、忠告。OK， 那 most needed 就是这个东西，它是最被需要的。
Most needed。
那 least heeded。Least
heeded。
heed 就是这个留意啦，去注意啦，或者是听，所以 least heeded 就是完全没有去留意，完全不去听的。OK。
所以
我刚刚讲的。早跟你说了，早的跟你讲，左手心拍右手背，早就跟你说啦。
怎么办呢？
就是 Didn't I warn you that 后面加个句子。
Didn't Didn't I warn you that?
或者是呢 Didn't I warn you about
Didn't I warn you about?
something 这样 OK
这边举的例子就是劈腿，
劈腿
劈腿
就是欺骗感情，那英文叫做 cheat on 某某人这样 cheat on someone。比如说
他对我不忠
He cheated on me。
，He cheated on me，
对啊
他不是个好咖。
对，那我们要判断一个人是不是好咖呢，就看这个人值不值得信赖。
是
所以呢，值得信赖有一个字叫 reliable，
reliable，
然后所以他值得信赖 ，He is reliable。
He is reliable。那我知道他不值得信赖，就是
He is not
reliable。
reliable， 对对对。
可是你知道，人觉得我这个忠言逆耳都已经起了了悲惨的时候了。
对，知道人家 key 掉掉，你就要讲一下 I'm really sorry about that。
I'm really sorry about that。
I'm really sorry to hear that。 I'm so sorry to hear that。
我都已经情伤，然后你一直在泼冷水，然后你还把我故事写出来，你什么意思？我是不是你朋友
I'm so sorry about that。Bye。
我们来看 live action。
What？
I broke up with Wayne.
Wayne?
Cannot believe that he was cheating on me all the time.
Didn't I warn you about him? I told you that he is not reliable at all.
He also borrowed money from me.
No.
I don't think I can ever get it back.
Well, I'm sorry, but advice when most needed is least heeded.
One more time.
Advice when most needed is least heeded.
Okay, again.
Advice when most needed is least heeded.